Okay, in this video I'm going over some random bullshit that I think is interesting enough to go over. PFL offers John Jones $50 million to fight Francis Ngannou. Oh, so they're trying to poach him. I see. The matchup with Ngannou is a big fight, but it's stupid and doesn't need to happen. And John Jones going to the PFL will never happen. But it is interesting, and the implications of a crossover event are kind of there. And Joe Rogan has hinted at that as well. We'll get into that. We'll get into this. Islam wants to move up to 170, so the plan for Ilia Topuria into Oliveira, that might actually work out if Jack Della Maddalena wins at UFC 315. We could see Islam fight him, and then we could see Topuria fight Charles for an interim belt. That kind of works itself out a little bit, but there's also so many contenders at welterweight. So we'll see. Also, we have this that Oliveira versus Chandler, Oliveira versus Ilia Topuria got leaked on the Spanish broadcast, but it turns out to be not true. But I'm pretty sure it probably means that it is true and that this fight's going to happen. We also have Pantoja versus Kai France too. That's probably going to happen because Pantoja really wants to fight in June. And then we have Evloev versus Pico to go over. They're signing Aaron Pico and giving him Evloev in his first fight. That's stupid, but we'll get to it. So we'll start with this. John Jones gets offered 50 mil. I don't know how real this is. It's obviously never going to happen. The UFC wouldn't let it happen under contract. But John Jones has gotten this offered to him, which is interesting enough because everybody seemed to forget about that fight completely. John Jones versus Francis Ngannou. And the possibility of it actually happening is just horrible to me because Tom Aspinall obviously deserves it. And we shouldn't be rewarding Ngannou for leaving the UFC with a huge fight against the UFC champion. I don't understand that at all. And Joe Rogan said that the UFC are kind of interested in this crossover, which I think is the stupidest idea you could ever do. It discredits your fighter, discredits your champion in Tom Aspinall. If Ngannou wins, it discredits your whole fucking sport. It's the worst possible idea ever, and it's probably not going to happen. I just wanted to say this because Joe Rogan seems to think it's a good idea and that it should happen and that they're interested in it, which is insane. And it better not happen because it would ruin everything. Tom Aspinall deserves that belt. He deserves the title shot 100%. Francis Ngannou doesn't deserve a $50 million fight with, I guess he wouldn't get paid. He'd probably get paid similarly, to be honest, against John Jones. That's bullshit. And the PFL honestly is dumb to make that offer anyway. I know I'm hating big time, but they're pretty much broke. I don't see why offering Jones $50 for fighting Ngannou. It's not gonna. I feel like that's a net negative, to be honest. So, I think this is just stupid. It's obviously a rumor. It's been a little bit since this come out anyway. It's obviously not gonna happen. Aspinall versus Jones is gonna happen, probably through Turkey Al Sheikh, and yeah, just thought I'd vent about how dumb that is. Next, Islam. He's planning on going up to welterweight if Jack Della Maddalena wins. I still really hope Jack Della Maddalena does win, but that does ruin the Ilia Topuria potential fight. But with Ilia Topuria versus Oliveira also technically almost being announced, it kind of works out. These two news, it kind of works out good because Islam versus Jack is a super fun fight to make. It's a double champ fight. It's Islam going up a weight class, which he's earned it. Even though his legacy is a little bit fucked, he's earned it. So him going up instead of people continuing to go up against him is probably correct in terms of merit and stuff. But I just want to see Ilia versus Islam, so it's kind of dumb. But we could get an interim title fight in the meantime, which would satiate Ilia's need for a title. Ilia versus Charles Oliveira for an interim title. It'd be perfect. Islam versus Jack, same card. That would be sick. And then the winners fight each other. I think that would be, or if it's Jack, I guess not. I guess the winner of Ilia versus Oliveira fights Islam. And if Jack wins, he just doesn't and he fights someone else. But with that being said, there's a ton of welterweight contenders that are coming up that Islam would just have to move out of the way, which I don't know if I like that. There's Shafkat. There's Joaquin Buckley now. There's Sean Brady now. There's Carlos Prates if he beats Gary, which I think he will. There's a lot of contenders, so just moving them out of the way. The reason I like these matchups like Ilya coming up to fight Islam or Volt coming up to fight Islam or just people coming up to fight Islam in general because Islam has already beaten everybody at lightweight. There's still a ton of intriguing fights in welterweight between contenders actually in welterweight. So just cramming Islam in there is harder to me than cramming Ilya into lightweight. And then I feel like that makes sense. But they obviously will, if the money's right, cram Islam into welterweight and give him a shot. And I wouldn't be 100% mad at it, to be honest. In terms of what this matchup would be, I'd be worried for Jack, definitely, just as I am against Bilal. But if he can beat Bilal Muhammad, if he can become champ and beat Bilal and beat him clearly, he can beat Islam Makhachev with his weight advantage. And his striking is just slick as fuck. So we'll see how he does against Bilal. And if he does win, I probably will pick him against Islam, which is kind of a crazy thing to say. Depending how he looks against Bilal, I will be picking him against Islam. And I am very worried about him in the Bilal fight in general as well. But I think his striking, his boxing is just way better. It's just really fucking good elite level boxing. And I think he can find the chin of Islam and Bilal. And I hope to God he's only been working on wrestling this whole time. Because that's all he needs to work on is wrestling. So I really hope that's the case. And this fight's super interesting and intriguing. And I hope it happens at least one day. So, or Islam going up to welterweight. Unless he loses to Ilya. Then he should just move up permanently. I need the Ilya fight though. But next. So Charles and Ilya. So this is announced, or it got leaked on the broadcast for the Spanish broadcast. And then people are saying it's not true. I'm sure it's true. I'm sure this is what they want to make. Islam turned down the fight against Ilya. I'm sure this is the fight to make. They're already talking shit. Ilya saying that Charles is like ducking him and shit. Charles said I'd fight anyone and I'd knock out. I feel like I'm going to knock him out. There's already trash talk. There's already hype. It's the biggest fight you can make at lightweight right now. That's my honest opinion. This is the biggest fight you can make. Besides Islam, of course. I'm a big Ilya guy. But as far as this fight goes, I'd probably pick Ilya to chin Oliveira. I know Oliveira is very good, but he gets rocked in every single one of his fights. And Ilya is just slick. But I'm sure this fight is pretty much made. I'm sure they're going to announce it soon. And I'm very excited to see how it goes. So, next. Pantoja versus Kai Kara-France. So, this is happening. It's not official, but it's in the works. And this is the only fight that makes sense now that Cap and Royval are fighting and Merab and Sugar Sean are fighting. So this is the only fight for Pantoja at this time. Kara-France 2. He's already beat him once. I'm sure he'll beat him again. This is just making Pantoja just the best flyweight ever. He's going to be it if he keeps getting these rematches. It's hard to beat DJ's record, but Pantoja in the comp today, he's definitely making a name for himself in the GOAT conversation of flyweight. And I predict him to beat Kara-France again. I'm sure it's going to happen. Pantoja is also on record saying that he wants to fight in June, so this is probably definitely in the works. I think it's boring. I don't think it should be a main event. I think it should be a co-main event to a cool fight night. Or to a cooler pay-per-view main event. Like maybe a Pereira. No, Pereira can't come back that soon. Maybe in June, maybe at Aspinall Jones. That'd be fucking sick. But if not, that's okay. There's other title fight implications involved. I'm pretty sure 317 might actually... It might already have a main event. Maybe not. There's cooler things as a main event than this fight. So yeah. Kind of lame that this is what we have next for Pantoja. Just another rematch. And not even a hyped one. I just don't think Kai Kara-France has earned a title shot completely yet. But it's whatever. Next. Evloev versus Pico. So they're taking in Aaron Pico from Bellator. He's a very stouted guy in Bellator. He's very good. But they're giving him Evloev in his first fight, which is stupid as fuck. Patricio Pitbull getting Yair Rodriguez, I kind of get. He's very hype. He's very good. Pico getting Evloev is insane. It's higher than Yair Rodriguez for less of a fighter, in my opinion. It doesn't make any sense. Evloev is getting kind of snuffed, to be honest. I'm fine with it because I don't like his style, but it is kind of bullshit. that they would give Aaron Pico to Evloev at this point. Evloev's pretty much earned a title shot. Pretty much is a bad way to say it too. He's earned it. He's earned a title shot no matter how boring his performances are. And putting him against Pico to possibly get that stolen away from him is crazy. I don't understand why he would accept it. I don't think he would have to. Maybe because his fights are so boring, he just has to accept it. But this is crazy to me. Doesn't make any sense. Stupid as fuck. If it does go through, I'd pick Evloev. I don't think Pico's coming from Bellator and beating Evloev in the UFC at this point. Even though Evloev's kind of ass, he beats everybody by decision, and he's beating good people. So I definitely pick him. I think Pico's not that. He's not him. I don't think he's even Patricio Pitbull's level. And I don't know who I'm going to pick between Pitbull and Yair yet. I haven't done the prediction video for that yet because I'm still thinking about it. But I'll be doing that next. So that's about it. Some random news, some bullshit. I'll see you soon.